welcome to another Quickfire Friday. My name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter. Today I'm going to give you a little idea with bits and pieces that you've had left over from journals or art projects that you've been doing. And if you're anything like me, you print off far more than you actually need. Now, these are two envelope templates from an Alice in Wonderland journal. I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos that I did an Alice in Wonderland journal for my daughter, and I printed so much these have been left in my stash ever since, which is well over a year now, probably even longer. And I was thinking what could I do with them, and it suddenly occurred to me that recently there have been little folios and things done, and I thought perhaps we could turn these into a little folio rather than sitting in the waste. I've also got a couple of little pockets there which I can give you an idea for as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and just have a little play for today. These are plain on the back, so I just want to pop a little stencil on the back just to give it a little bit of interest, so that it's not completely plain. I'm not going to be too pernickety about it, but yeah, let's just give it a little bit of a design and go in just with a little bit of vintage photo and give it a little design. And while I'm doing this, how are we all doing? Are we all doing well? It is Friday. We are at the weekend. I'm not too sure what the weather's planned for this weekend. I haven't looked, to be honest. But we've had a couple of really nice days this week, haven't we? It's been lovely. So, yeah, so hopefully you've got some nice things planned. I mentioned in Wednesday's video that I've got my granddaughter this weekend. So I'm looking forward to spending some time with her. I've got a little bit of shopping planned, and then maybe watching a little bit of films and eating lots of crisps and popcorn and whatever else we can think of. Right, that's taken the plainness just off of that. That's all I wanted to do with that. And what I'm also going to do is I want to, where these would normally be the flaps that you would glue your envelope, you'd fold that up that way and you'd glue it onto there. I'm actually going to take these pieces off because I want this to be like a little, almost like a little file folder. Where's my knife? Let me just grab my knife. So I'm going to make this into effectively what is just a decorated file folder. Which I think should be quite nice, I would hope. I'm just checking my time as well, because with it being quickfire, I don't want it to take a million years. This is really just going to be a very quick little project, or I hope it will anyway. I'm going to just ink around the edge there, just to take off that white core, so that it doesn't look too stark. There we go. Also hides a multitude of sins if your cutting hasn't been that brilliant. And now what I'm going to do, I am going to score. I can't remember what's the score line now. So if that goes up there, that would be the score line there. So I'm just going to score these as to where the envelope would naturally fold. So I'm going to pop a score line there and a score line here, because that would be the flap of the envelope. Okay, so that would be the flap of the envelope, so that would flap down like that. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a burnish. And then this would be the upper bit. Did I score that? I did. So that would be the upper bit. So that would come up. That would come up like that. Just want to make sure I'm getting that relatively straight. Just pop it against my ruler there. And now just burnish that down. So in theory, what you would normally do is you'd normally have those two flaps there, you'd fold those in, you'd pull that up, and you would stick this to the flaps, and that would give you your little envelope. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to make this into like a little file folder. So that's going to come up, that's going to come down, and that's just going to be your little file folder. And then you can use that for sticking ephemera and things in, and using it as a little insert, a different type of insert, not an envelope style insert, into your journals or whatever it is you're doing with it. So I've also got a couple of these little pockets left, and I thought they would fit in there quite nicely to add a couple of pockets in. So again, I'm going to trim these off because I don't really want huge pockets in there. So I'm going to sit them flush to the folio. So that's that one. So I don't need those bits, but I can keep those because those would make nice labels actually. So I'm going to hang on to those, make use of everything that you can. I'm going to cut this one down. And these ones. I haven't given myself a visual there, have I? Let me... Hopefully this will work out okay. That's that one. And then this one. Is that about even? Probably not, to be fair. It doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay, so those are my two little envelopes as well. I'm just going to throw a little bit of ink around them. Move that out of the way. So a little bit of ink around them. Again, just to take that little whiteness off the core. And we could, if we wanted to, just round the corners, just on the bottom, which... Oops, sit still. Just going to roll off my desk. Just going to take the corners off those there, and on that one, and that one, and then just finish inking around these very quickly. That's that one done, and then this one, just finish this one off. There we go. Okay, so that's the two little pockets done. And then literally all I'm going to do is stick these into here, which I think will be really cute. I could probably actually... Is that a little bit too... Oh, that's spot on actually. That's nice. I'm going to put that one down there, I think. And grab a little bit of my old glitter glue. Oops, taken the wrong bit off. Let's try that one again. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop a little bit of glitter glue just around the edges. Like so. And we're going to pop that one in there. Lovely. And then just to hide that little bit there where it's not quite married up with the edge, I'm going to throw a little bit of ink on that. Inking your bits hides a multiple of sins, which is marvellous. And then this one, I'm going to just pop that one on there. Now that pocket is actually slightly smaller, which is fab. We don't want to take it all the way up to that line there. We want to make sure the file folds Oop. So we're just going to glue that one down as well. Where's that line? I can't see it there. Okay, so we're going to pop that one in there. And now that's given me a little two pocket file, and then that will fold up like so, and you can just slip that in. Now we can secure this with we can secure it with a little bit of ribbon, or you can put a little paper clip on there. I've got a paper clip here. You can secure that with a little paper clip if you wanted to. You can secure it with a number of things. I've just also got these little bits of ephemera here that I can throw into the pockets, which will be cute. Just tiny little bits of ephemera, just to add a little bit of extra interest. And these are lovely, just to, like I say, just to add a little bit of interest to your journals or whatever you're doing. And it just gives you the opportunity, if you don't want envelopes, it just gives you the opportunity to turn these into something just a little bit different and a little bit more interesting than perhaps just an envelope that you're not quite sure what to do with. So pop that in there. It just means that you've been able to utilise your envelopes in a different way. There we go. So that's those. And then I've also got some other bits and pieces here. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. We've got some little miniature guest checks. I can pop some of them in there. And you'll literally just end up with a little mishmash of things. That's going to be a bit too tall for there, but it will go in there rather cutely. That's nice. And then what else have we got here? I think that might be good. Little postcard there to pop in there. So that's it. So there we go. And like I say, that's a little folio, so we can just clip that on there if you want to. Alternatively, you could bind that round with some what have we got? I've got some heavy duty cotton cord, waxed cotton cord. That would look nice on this particular one with a little bow there. Or you can put some lace around it if you wanted to. This is a bit thick, but this is just give you an idea. That could go round there if it was a little bit thinner. I've got plenty of lace, I just haven't pulled any out, so that could go around there. So you could add that on if you wanted to. You could put baker's twine on there. Baker's twine would look lovely as well. Got a little bit of baker's twine here. A little bit of baker's twine in a little bow as well. Lots of things that you can secure it up with. Entirely up to you what you do. But that is literally all I wanted to come on and show you today. So all of these pockets that you've cut out, you've got in your stash, you're not sure what to do with them, cut off your tabs, turn them into a little fold up folio, job done. You can even decorate that little bit there. What have we got? Let me have a look. I've got a lovely little butterfly there from one of Amanda's collections. Let's stick him on. He's really cute, isn't he? So quite a nice colour as well to go with the coloration of the pocket. Now that I've turned it into a pocket rather than an envelope, I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on him. You could even use a wax seal on there if you wanted to. You could put a wax seal. I have got wax seals, but I didn't plan on doing that today, so I'm just going to pop the little butterfly on there just to give that a little something there. There we go. Okay, so little butterfly on there. You can pop that anywhere you like. Little paper clip. I've also got some of these little paper clips which are gorgeous. What colour should we have? I've also got little mini what are these, pegs? A little mini peg, but they can be quite bulky. got a nice little gold one here. This one will look nice. So we'll pop that on there. There we go. And that just holds it together. Gorgeous, isn't it? So there we go. Little idea there to use up your envelopes that you're not quite sure what to do with, that you've printed out. You've got an excess of them and you can use them. You can decorate the fronts. You can decorate the backs. You can put further pockets on them if you wanted to. I mean, these are actually very well decorated anyway, but if they weren't particularly heavily decorated, you could add pockets and little bits and pieces on the front to decorate that as well. So that's it, guys. That's the idea for today. It was just a quick fire Friday to come on and show you that. I'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for Stash Busting Saturday. So take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye.